At the last convention, one of the things that we promised were to support the process that enhances transparency and accountability in the management of extractives. There is a lot of opaqueness globally. This is not about this country per se. There is a lot of opaqueness. There is a lot of secrecy in the management of extractives. And here, basically, we are dealing with minerals and petroleum, oil and gas. The flow of information is always limited. The participation of citizens and other actors is always limited. And that's why there is always this urge to enhance transparency and accountability in the management of this sector.
We will go through a presentation by Dr. Dan Davirano from the School of Law, and then we'll be able to sit under a rock
to discuss with you a very pertinent topic, which is about how do we optimize revenues from Uganda's mining, oil, gas, and mining, oil and gas sector. Now let's turn to non-tax revenues, that beyond taxes, there are also other kinds of levies, fees, and so on and so forth. The most prominent being royalties, that I'm sure many of you in this room are acquainted with. Basically, payments for the right to extract. Before you take my minerals, before you take my oil, you must pay so much. Now, both the taxation, petroleum and mining legislations provide for payment of royalties. For mining, the royalties are clearly determined by the minister. But when it comes to petroleum, there seems to be a problem because, for the most part, royalties are determined in the production sharing agreements.
Here, but she wasn't able to be with us. However, tackling directly the issue on informality, yes, it's true, largely the sector has a lot of informality, but what are we doing to go around that? We do have an enabling law already. The Income Tax Act allows us to, when someone is going to be licensed, to have a TIN number. The new Minerals and Mining Act has authorized us to get tax for the miners to get tax clearance certificates before they can be licensed. We are working closely with GSM.
Mr. Adio, the domestic revenue mobilization strategy, which is a very good strategy, and of course we know that through this you intend to domestically raise quite a lot of revenues in partnership with URA. But what is now the status of its implementation?
No sooner had we developed the strategy than the global pandemic hit. Even our revenue targets, because for instance, we had planned that every year we should have revenue growth of about 0.5% per annum. But in that period alone, our revenue targets came short. In the strategy, the recommendation was to have a strong extractives industries taxation regime. And one of the things it identified was the existing regime was insufficient. But I can tell you that as of now, through our collaborations with different stakeholders, we believe we have put in place a robust and sound.
To my colleague, Engineer Sewagara, and you know the reason why you are seated here and why local government is the other side, to keep some reasonable distance. So how often or to what extent do you disclose that kind of information to them?
As the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we prepare monthly and then quarterly reports. And this information these reports are for the ministry, and once they are written, they are public documents. But when we disperse money to the local government, we advertise in the newspapers, notifying them how much money has been sent to them.
I disagree with him, because these people from the center, they always think that maybe when we are there as local government, sometimes we don't understand the way how things are. When the last got royalties in the last 10 years, that is 2009, is when we received 800 Ugandan shilling. As they are meeting the annual. For the whole year, 800 Ugandan shilling.
First, wait, Chair. Did you receive it on the district account?
By that time, when they were still with Kasanda, and the gold mines were all in Mubende. I was the chairperson, finance committee. We enforced up the ministry. What they released was 800 Ugandan shilling to the district as a reality.
Can you briefly tell us how you used that in service delivery?
I want to clarify to everyone here. My name is Elizabeth Biarugaba. I am a miner. This is something that you need to understand. Our nature of business is business to business. We don't sell our products to consumers. The businesses that we sell to are licensed. It is very easy to trace our production. Someone said we are hard to reach. No, we are not off the grid. We are hard to reach because we don't have infrastructure, because you've not prioritized us. When you look at what Dr. Dan has presented, the contribution to the GDPs in the 60s, in the 70s, it was because Ministry of Mineral Development was prioritized. It was given a budget reasonable enough to declare the reserves this country have, something that is not done at all.